On this week's cruise chat, we're going to be meeting with Cindy from Norwegian Cruise Line, and we are going to be looking at Norwegian Viva. She is brand new. She just launched last week, and she's gorgeous. I had the opportunity to sail on Prima, and that is a sister ship of Viva. Absolutely stunning. There's so many fun things to do. It is amazing, and I can't wait to share with you guys. Over to the episode. Everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I am joined again by Cindy. And Cindy, as you can see, is from Norwegian Cruise Line. I am very excited to meet with Cindy. I just adore meeting with her. I've got lots of videos that I have, so go back and look at that playlist when we're done here. Cindy, you were actually my first group that I met with, not my first group, I'm sorry. You were my first cruise chat. You were cruise chat number 1, and we are on, I think this is 128, which is incredible. So thank you for sticking with me for this long. It's been awesome. And I'm so excited about Norwegian Viva, and I can't wait to learn all about it. So I'm just going to turn this over to you.
Thanks a lot, Kathleen. And yes, it's always so exciting to record those videos with you because there's always something exciting to talk about, to be honest. So so this month we actually picked with Kathleen Norwegian Viva. And why Norwegian Viva? Very, very simple, because she's brand new. You can still smell the new on board because she literally just had a very first maiden voyage a few days ago in Europe. And there was a lot of press coverage. To be honest, I invite you to read the reviews online. They are absolutely fabulous. So that's why I wanted to talk about her a little bit again, put her on the spotlight. We spoke about Viva actually in a previous video, but that was a few months ago. So she was still yet to come. We were still yet to have the feedback of our guests, and now we have it. And it's fantastic. But to be honest, I did not expect anything else, to be honest. I was myself on a maiden voyage of the Prima, Norwegian Prima, which is the sister ship of Norwegian Viva, so a year ago, and I had already a fabulous experience. But let me introduce you to her a little bit.
I was on Norwegian Prima as well. Thank you for that wonderful invitation. And I brought my daughter along, and you know what? She's in her 20s, and she loved it just as much as I did. And it's incredible. Like, what a beautiful ship. And I love that we have a sister ship now for her, because there's so many people that want to go on Prima and you can't get it. So why not go with Viva, right?
And if you never heard about Norwegian Viva or Prima before, and you're just like, oh, it's just another ship like many others we can see on the market, please stick with us, because there are really key differences that you will not be able to find anywhere else. So just stick with us, and here's a little video for you guys.
Introducing the all-new Norwegian Viva. Our next stunning ship in a brand new class designed for you to live life to the fullest. Stay connected to the sea with experiences that bring you closer to the horizon. Stretch out, way out, in our most spacious accommodations to date. And look forward to first-rate service, so you can live it up every second. Live it up. Norwegian Viva, sailing 2023.
Already sailing in 2023, I should say. And yes, so exciting. And you know what I really love with the Viva in particular, but the Prima class in general, that was really another step that Norwegian took, basically towards a class of ships that is like nowhere to be seen, whatever if it was with Norwegian, with the rest of the fleet, but as well with any other contemporary cruise line. Something that is great to remember about Norwegian is like we're known for two things, or I should say 2 in 1, which is like the freestyle dining with no fixed dining time, and freestyle cruising with, for example, no dress code. If you want to dress casual, if you want to dress up because you have a special occasion to celebrate, You absolutely can. And that is something that is not happening on other cruise lines.
Right.
Now, what we wanted to do is really like give another vibe to our new ship. It was the first new class of ship in 10 years. So we've been waiting for it, guys. And I have to say that those other ships we had before are amazing. Before that, we had just like Norwegian Encore, Norwegian Joy, Norwegian Bliss. We introduced for the first time ships designed for Alaska, and they were fabulous. We introduced as well a few years back, the first time ever, cruise ships having like wide opening space where you can choose to have a drink or maybe even your dinner outdoor, which is not happening on most of the other cruise lines. But we really took another step actually with the Prima class. And one thing that I adore personally on that ship is the concept of space. So you heard it during the video where the largest space to date, because what we have done, this ship here, I know it's a little technical drawing, but basically what does it say? It's the same size, roughly, that one of our other ships we had before, we could accommodate about 4,000 passengers approximately. Same size, but this time what we've done is to reduce the capacity to 3,200 passengers. So what we wanted to do is to take that space back, but give it back to you guys, to our guests. So we have the largest accommodation right now in our fleet. We have actually like double the outdoor space that we had before. In the class of ship before called Breakaway Plus, this outdoor space was about 20,000 square feet. Now we have over 42,000 square feet on Prima and Viva, with a round open space around the ship. And what we've done as well is completely change the approach. We just like put ourselves into your shoes. That's as simple as that. Like, okay, we're doing a great job on the other ships, but if we have to create another one, what would you want? What would be the new things that, and if nobody else is doing it, that's even better. And that's why, for example, we came for the first time ever with infinity pools on each side of the ship. In addition to the traditional pool deck that any other cruise line is doing, we're the only one to actually have introduced like 2 other infinity pools on each side. So all clients, number one, there's less clients on board for more space per client, but they're going to spread naturally in space and time. So you won't feel like as crowded, especially on sea days, because everybody tends to gather around the same point, which is like the swimming pool. Now there are 3 swimming pools, and those are open for everybody. You don't need to pay an additional fee to get access to those pools. You don't need to be a Haven guest, which is our top luxury class.
Yeah, and what I love about the infinity pools, I'm going to interrupt you and I apologize for that, but I love that infinity pool because it is outward facing. There's some newer ships that are coming out and they're starting to put infinity pools on, but they're inside and it's sort of looking down into decks, and it's like, no, I want to look at the ocean. I am there for the views. I'm there for that ocean breeze. And I love that it's outside facing, and that's my favorite part of it. And that was a really good pool.
You have a really good point, Kathleen, actually, because that's what's happening on the other cruise lines. Lots of things are looking in. They are inside. They are looking inside. Us, it's completely the other way around. Basically, like, we have reduced the space inside, except your cabins, they're actually now larger, but you have now this wide open space, because that's what our clients want. That's what I want selfishly when I am actually cruising. I want to feel the breeze in my hair. I want to see the ocean. I just want to feel like that same vibe I could get somewhere in the beach club, for example. And that's exactly what we took in account when we built the Prima class and the Viva. It's really like the feel like at the beach, and that's why it's wonderful. We even have these new glass bridges like on each side of the ship. No worry, they're not that scary, I promise. Like, we have those kind of not so much see-through glass floor. What we have done, so talking about the actual open spaces, so I was talking about it. So that was the classes we had before. So our ships, so they were looking before, when we had already close to 20,000 square feet of outdoor space. Not bad, to be honest, because we were still, and we are still, one of the contemporary cruise line offering the most spaces on board those ships. But we took the game to a next level with Prima and Viva, because now we have like literally double up that space. You can see like even on those areas, but the outdoor space is even larger than the indoor space, because that's what we want.
That's what you want.
We were as well like copying what we did. It's amazing. We were copying what we did well the last time, but we improved it automatically. And you have to picture yourself, you know, when you get on the cruise with the other cruise lines, the experience at port, at destination, tends to stop once you get back into the ship. Why? Because that's literally where you have to go back inside. Maybe you're going to see a little bit through the window when you have your dinner, maybe same when you're in the bar, but it's going to be inside. With us, it's completely the other way around. You get back to the ship after your day in Santorini or in Rome or in Marseille, maybe, and you will get actually the opportunity as the ship is sailing away to enjoy the sunset or just the view, the full view actually on your destination. Yeah. And that Infinite Beach is definitely one of my favorite stays for sure. Because as you said, Kathleen, it's literally like the wide open. That's why we really, really wanted to do. Yeah. We have as well introduced for the first time, because it's time to talk about my favorite topic, which is food. We have introduced as well for the first time the concept of food hall. So you can see it here. We have like the old all the what you could expect in terms of dining venues. So we have like specialty dining, we have main dining rooms, we have buffet. We still have our 24/7 complimentary option, which is called the local. We are the only cruise line to do it fleet-wide as well. But now we have actually what we've done. We thought, what if we give something else? What if we give an alternative to the buffet, for example? So that's what you would find on Prima and Viva. The buffet would be slightly smaller, maybe than the other cruise ships, but we have in addition this fantastic place that is called Indulge. So like a food hall, how does that work? It's a little bit like, if you think about it, like a shopping mall. When you get there and there's a food court, so you go to your station, you pick up your food and you just go and sit wherever you can. Here, that's slightly the other way around. You're going to have a lot of different stations, like over like roughly 1,000. Most of them would be complimentary, but you're going to sit first, and there's going to be, like, when you're inside, like some sort of iPads, tablets, basically on the table when you order the foods from the stations you like. If you want to order from one station, you can. If you want to order something from each of them, you can. And we have like so many options. We have noodle bar, we have rotisserie, we have Indian section, which is absolutely fabulous. Yeah. I am sure to try each of them, you know, just to be sure that what I'm selling is great.
You have to do the quality control. I hear you. Yeah.
Control, and I've been over and over to ensure consistency. It was absolutely fantastic. The service was so fast. It was absolutely insane. And what I love, you have as well, as usual now, inside indoor options or outdoor sittings. So you can basically like get your food outdoor. So you would get like, not the tablets because just the weather, but somebody would come and just like pick your order. Yeah. And I think this is just amazing. That is open basically for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What I really love, because we have, for example, fleet-wide, we have Starbucks. So my favorite thing to do in the morning was just to take my Starbucks, guilty, and I would come up actually to the Indulge, which was actually on the same deck on Norwegian Prima, and I would just like sit down here outdoor, and they would just come pick up for whatever I wanted for breakfast. And I think that was just absolutely fantastic. So as you can see,
and I love that people come and take your order. You know, I use a cane, as you know, when I'm walking long distances, and people don't really realize how much of a pain it is to go to a buffet with a cane, because you're holding your plate, you're holding your cane, and you're like, oh, I can't even scoop anything. So it's wonderful to have somebody, just relaxation. You come, you sit down, and you're pampered, right? They're going to go get your food for you, bring it to you. It just works out beautifully.
You're on vacation. You're on vacation, so you deserve it. Absolutely. Yes. We also have, so here's a little vibe about the local. So I talked about this 24/7 complimentary option. So we have it fleet-wide. That is great, in particular if you travel to really far away distances destinations where your
Yeah.
tummy doesn't agree right away with the time difference, with the jet lag. So you may find yourself with a little crave in the middle of the night, or just you went to party. We have like lots of different options to party, and usually you have a little crave just before going to bed. Of course, we do have as well our specialty dining. So that's what's happening fleet-wide as well. So you have complimentary options, and if you want to get an enhanced experience, we have, for example, Los Lobos, which is our Mexican restaurant, Onda by Scarpetta, which is as well our Italian option, which is one of my all-time favorite. To be honest, I love it so much. There's a truffle polenta that I'm dreaming about every single time I'm going on the couple of ships where we have Onda. Now let's have a peek into the accommodation, of course, because that's where you're going to stay. So first, I want to start with a luxury class, actually, the Haven, because it's just gorgeous, to be honest. And this was as well one of the new advances we had with the Prima and Viva, because before, on our ships before, the Haven, so you have to imagine that like a little luxury ship that we would have just let on the top of the rest of the ship. And you're going to say, so what would be the difference? What would be a Haven guest? Well, if you want to go on a luxury cruise today, like luxury line, to be honest, there's a few things happening here. Number one, ships would be way much smaller because we want to accommodate way many less guests on board. It goes with the experience. Amazing food, amazing service, of course, but that's just a reality. The smaller the ship is, the less things you have on board for your entertainment. So you would not get, for example, casinos. You won't get any theater. You won't get any multiple dining venues. It will just not be possible. So what we have in the Haven, it's the same. Take a little luxury cruise ship, put it on the top, and our typical Haven guests are the one who want to get that very same level of ultra luxury service they could expect from luxury line. But they want as well to enjoy the party. They want to enjoy the other amenities. Maybe even they travel, like multi-generational families is one of the core of our guests, when maybe grandparents are staying in the Haven and kids, grandkids are going into like lower categories like balcony, for example, and so on. So that's just an amazing thing. And now the big change, it goes with the engines. Oh, you're going to say, why she's talking mechanics now? So basically before, our engines were located at the back of the ship, like many other cruise lines do. So just to avoid like a little bit of vibration, a little bit of fume sometimes, we would just put the Haven either at the front of the ship or in the middle. Now what we have done with the new Prima class is to move those engines, its new technologies, here in the middle of the ship. So that's why we've been able to put the Haven here at the back. And what we've done now, when actually the Haven tended to be like kind of looking in the previous ships, now it's completely looking out, completely open at the back of the ship, and that view is amazing. You have another here, so this one is exclusive to the Haven guests, but this is just another level. So the Haven on that class is basically on 2 different levels. So we have multiple suites, but now we have even a step further. If you knew already about the Haven on our previous ships, so we would, for example, privatize sometimes some areas that usually are the common part. Like, for example, that would be the elevator. We would privatize it for the Haven guests for a few hours on embarkation day, disembarkation, and so on. Now you have a true and full private access 24/7 only for the Haven guests. We have as well like exclusive restaurants, exclusive bar we have only for Haven. You of course have your 24/7 dedicated butler, you have a concierge to help you with the shows, and you have your fantastic suites. If you're lucky, there's actually a few suites on board, very few. They are the first to go, where you have a large balcony with an actual hot tub that is only yours. And I mean, this is just absolutely fantastic.
Wow. Amazing.
Now let's have a look into like the other accommodations. So of course, if you want to go, I don't want to say more simple because those are so sophisticated. I absolutely adore the style. You know those pictures, it's funny enough, when I started to use them to showcase the ship to travel advisors in Canada like Kathleen. I remember a lot of them like just emailed me and say, "Oh, Cindy, those are nice pictures. The Haven looks fabulous." It was like, those pictures are not the Haven.
Right.
Those pictures are actually like standard cabin, but we just leveled up basically like decoration and size. And look at that. It's like it's so spacious. It's absolutely fantastic. So as usual, we have it as well introduce the studios if you are solo travelers. So we do have the studios. I stayed on one of them during one year of the inaugural cruises of the Prima. I'm yet to go on the Viva. Let's cross fingers very soon, but because right now she's in Europe, literally, and I am in Toronto. But basically, the studio are here. I stayed and I think it was amazing. I love those cabins. They are so cozy. They are actually like designed for solo travelers, even though you have a double bed, which is absolutely awesome. And like any other studio complex on any of our ships who has it, we have as well an exclusive lounge for studio travelers. So which means great. Like you can gather together or you can gather by yourself if that's what you like, of course. So now just a little focus on the experiences. So what's new? What did we get back? So first, we did get the Speedway back. So that was already on the Norwegian Breakaway Plus class. So the very most recent ships before the Prima class. But we had only 2 levels of go-kart actually in the previous ships. Now we have 3 of them. So this loop is 22% longer than what you had before. And what I adore on that one, I had such a blast. Here, for example, we know that, you know, people love to take pictures, but sometimes you want to go with the family and people can be a little, not scared, but, you know, they don't like the speed. So they just don't want to go.
They're hesitant to go on,
you know, but sometimes there's the kids going and they want to enjoy the show. So there's actually this viewing deck here where not only you can see the cars, but there are actually some cars here when you can do nice pictures, even if you don't go eventually racing. And there's a little podium as well if you want to compete with friends and family, so that's fun. But what I love is that there's a laser tag as well. This is so fun, so much fun. So if you stay here and let's say your kids, grandkids, friends, whatever, are competing with each other, you can actually target them with a laser gun, and you see actually the score on the screen. And if you manage to reach the target on the car, you would give that car a speed bump, basically like a speed boost for a few seconds, and the pilot doesn't know. So suddenly they're going to go, it's not a rocket speed, right? Don't worry, it's safe, but it's fabulous.
So interactive. That's amazing, because even the person who isn't experiencing it can still experience. That's incredible.
Absolutely. And that's exactly, once again, it was about asking guests what they wanted. People were thrilled about the go-kart, the speedway on the other ships, but they were like, you know what? I don't feel too much like going. There's still a viewing deck, but they felt like the excitement was mostly on one side. So we're like, let's have everybody basically play into the game.
And one thing I was really surprised on is how long you were on that speedway. Like, I felt like it was such a great value because you were on it for so long and experiencing it. It wasn't like you looped twice, you're done, let's go. It was incredible. I loved it. It was so much fun.
It's a real experience. That one you have right now on your screen is one of my favorites. It's new. It's perfect for me. I'm a full confession. I am a millennial, so I'm 40 years old, but I love to have fun like a kid. And there's a lot of us out there. So this one is called actually the Russian drop. So you have them on both sides of the ship. So that's basically dry slides. And those are 10-story high. And this is a lot of fun. This is perfectly safe, of course. So here you would start here on the stadium and go all the way down to deck number 8, where you find what? Bars and restaurants. So you have actually as a reward for your bravery.
Slide, you're good, right?
We even have as well more activities. We introduced for the first time a bullseye, for example. So there's great tea time. You can win prizes. So it's a kind of mini golf. Galaxy Pavilion, we already had it on our previous ship. So this is when you have, for example, like games, simulator, and so on. So that's a lot of fun. Here you have a golf simulator, which is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of things, like a lot of VR actually activities as well, which I adore personally. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
We of course have, like as usual, like an aqua park. We have main pools on the top that did not change, and we have the Vibe Beach Club. So if you
Yeah.
didn't know about it, so that's actually on a few of our ships, not all of them, but mostly the most recent, which is an adult only section of the ship. So this one, you need to actually purchase a ticket to get access to it because they are very limited. That's the concept. It's going to be an area, and I visited it. It's great. You have your own hot tub, you have your own bars. And the idea is we want to limit the space just to ensure a great experience. So these ones are additional, but that's definitely worth it.
Yes.
Now let's talk about where that fantastic ship is going. So she has started, basically, as I mentioned, in Europe literally a few days ago. I think it was on the 8th or the 9th. So that's literally like a few days ago. And she's going to be in the Mediterranean for the summer before getting back to warmer weather
Yes.
in Caribbean for the winter 23-24. So I wanted to talk about a few ideas, and I think this one, Kathleen, is one of your favorite, right?
It is, absolutely. Those islands that you're going to there are just jam-packed of things to do. It is so much fun, and you're there for so long too. It's great because you're not just 2-3 hours, you're there for a good amount of time, and I love it. I mean, San Juan is a wonderful port to depart from, and you end up down at Barbados. I mean, it's amazing, and of course you loop back up, but that is just so good. And I mean, one of my favorite stops is St. Lucia. My husband adored climbing the pitons there, and he said like the view from those mountains were worth the climb. Took him a couple hours to get to the top, but he absolutely loved it. St. Martin is one of my favorite islands. I loved getting that whole nice overview of it because the Dutch influence and the other influence, and I'm forgetting the other country, but it's like 2 countries into one on St. Martin, and I absolutely think that that's great. It's just amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorite itineraries, and I highly recommend this one. This is one of the ones, if you guys want to reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. I can guide you on every port of what my top 3 things to do are, because it's just my favorite.
It's an amazing itinerary, and I love it because, like, if you go for a cruise departing from Miami, for example, the best you can go usually would be like Tortola, St. Thomas, but you would most of the time miss those islands. So the only way is actually to depart from San Juan, which is amazing.
Yes.
And here that's so it's 7 days. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you count San Juan.
Yeah.
So which means every day pretty much you're going to be at port. You're going to have a new destination, and you can finally actually visit those eastern island from the eastern Caribbean. It's amazing.
And you should go a day or 2 early too to experience old San Juan too, I think.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful city, to be honest. Now talking about Mediterranean, so we have a lot of different ideas with little tweaks here and there, but here's one example for Western Med. So basically it's an itinerary from Rome to Lisbon, and that's my 2 favorite cities in Europe. I absolutely for just to explore the city. The culture is so rich. The food is amazing. Let's talk about the weather. There's nothing wrong with that city. And in Lisbon, the Portugal, which is actually one of my favorite. It's funny because Portugal is not necessarily the first country you think about visiting when you go to Europe. Most of people think about Spain, think about Italy.
Yes.
That is really as much rich as the other countries. Great culture. Remember, actually, like Portuguese was one of the very first maritime explorers back to the 14th, 15th century. Those guys were huge at the time. So they brought back a lot. Portuguese food is amazing. Sea bass is still my favorite dish, actually, in Portugal. You have like as well, lots of the population talks English as well. So if you don't speak Portuguese, I don't speak Portuguese, you would be fine. That's an amazing destination. And as well, another idea, this one is my favorite, actually, from Norwegian Viva. So this is an open shore, Athens to Rome as well. But as you can see that, basically, so you depart right somehow in the middle of Eastern Med, but this one is going to overnight Istanbul, which is amazing. And then you go down to Mykonos, Santorini, Olympia, which is actually not that common in some itineraries. Messina as well is fantastic, but same, it's not one of the most common ports you can find, and I adore Messina. If you are like me, like a history fan, that was literally on the way where actually the Templars, were going, they were passing from Messina, everybody coming from Western Europe when they were going to Jerusalem. That was literally the last port before actually getting there. So there's a lot of history. And then
Yes.
Florence, of course, a little bit of France, where I'm from, and actually Naples, if you want to get an authentic pizza. Of course, they are like the first pizza ever. Take a deep fried pizza. It's amazing.
Hey, oh, that'd be neat to
Hey,
try.
there would be so much more to say, but I
Mhm.
hope now you're itching to go and experience by yourself this amazing ship. She's fantastic. Once
Yeah.
again, I really invite you to go online and see the reviews, check the comments from our
Mhm.
guests. There was so many medias involved on that first trip, and they literally waved about the ship, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to make any reservations, talk about the other itineraries, because of course there's a lot of different itineraries from
Yeah.
Viva. Feel free to reach out to Kathleen, and she will always give you the best offer possible, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And, having you on speed dial, if anybody needs any help, I can absolutely reach out to you as well. And that's one of the things I love is I've got those relationships in the industry. So, if something does happen to go sideways, which I rarely ever happens, I can reach out to you and we can get things solved lickety split super fast. So that's great. And that's amazing. And I mean, Viva looks gorgeous. I can't wait to get on there too. Beautiful, beautiful ship. Absolutely. So thank you for putting that
Lovely. So
together.
thanks a
And
lot for watching that video.
yes, yes, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Make sure that you reach out to me. info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. I'm here for you. So thank you. And I hope everybody has a great week. Bye for now. Guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's cruise chat with Cindy from Norwegian Cruise Line. I really enjoyed looking at Norwegian Viva. It is a sister ship of Prima, but it's Viva. And she is so beautiful. I had the opportunity and the pleasure of sailing on Prima. It is so stunning. And if this is a sister ship and it's going to be extremely similar with some small little changes, you guys are going to love it as well. It is so beautiful. And there are so many venues and so many things to do. My goodness. And as I mentioned, when, in the video, that is my favorite itinerary, that beautiful Southern Caribbean from San Juan. I mean, there's a million itineraries, but that one with all those port stops, that one's my favorite. Make sure you guys reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, so that I can get you on board. I have great relationships in the industry, and I can get you on board and make sure that everything is going to be going flawlessly for you. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Oceana. I am very excited about that one. I'm currently working on making a series of videos for Oceana because I am hosting a group cruise. So we are going to Norway and we're going to be going on Oceana Marina. And so I'm just doing a video a day, and make sure that you're subscribed to our channel because I'm going to be doing a video a day of my top 3 things to do in each port. So make sure you tune in for that because there are, as I'm researching some of these ports, they are beautiful. And I love going above the Arctic Circle. That's just going to be so much fun. So make sure that you're subscribed, and I will see you guys next week or on board. Bye for now.